Game Corner, a competitive Pokemon podcast. Today, we are joined by Pokésports, another video game podcast. Wait a second. I may have messed that up.
Sounds right to me.
I think you're fine.
All right.
Hey, everybody.
Hi.
Intro's a little weird today, but that's fine. How y'all doing?
Alive. Hanging
All
in
right.
there.
That's all we can ask
Hanging
for.
in there, yeah.
I
That's
just
what we can ask
played.
for.
I just played a base Calyrex video.
Oh,
So you know
played it,
how
you're
I
doing
was
pretty
doing.
bad.
Oh, okay.
No, I won once. That's all I
Hey.
have to say. That was the goal.
So hang on.
I
this
thought my
is
life was
a
miserable with Mewtwo. That sounds awful.
so this is a video game podcast, and Kevin comes right out the gate swinging with the most like in-depth Pokemon stuff that he can.
We
Pokemon is a
are
video game.
ostensibly a video game podcast, but we have done nothing with VGC so far. Like,
Yes.
Fair enough.
Our stuff so far has been extremely VGC focused, and we kind of touched on like what wasn't E3 this year. I think that
Okay.
might be it.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone, quick! Name a video game that you play that isn't Pokemon. Go.
oh god, there are
I've
other
been
video
playing
games.
Mountain Blade lately.
Mountain Blade.
Sea of Thieves.
Blade.
I'll tell you what. Triangle Strategy. I actually
Yep.
have it next to me.
Are you
This
still
is-
playing?
I-
that?
This is a long game. Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
I'm not playing it that much, but I'm playing it.
I started
I gotta
playing
tell
it,
you,
but it's slow.
before New Jersey, I would not have pegged you as like a JRPG guy, but now I 100% would. Like after like the car ride of anime songs for like an hour, yeah,
Yeah.
After you
no
got
question.
to know me.
Wait. You're telling me you don't have a Spotify playlist full of anime songs?
So it was a fun car ride full of many people's Spotify playlist of anime songs.
Why were we in the
Uh,
car for that long? Oh, traffic. That's why.
Oh, so much
and
traffic.
to go to an amusement park like an hour away. I didn't know that
Oh, yeah,
people
true.
went to New Jersey for roller coasters, but like
They don't.
So-
But we
we
did.
do.
Yeah.
Y'all went to a so this is way back like 4 weeks
Like a
ago
month
in
ago or something.
Secaucus or whatever.
Yeah.
So right.
Back
So
in the
y'all
day.
went to a theme park in New Jersey?
Listen, we were trying to have fun.
Huh.
We were going to Secaucus. What
We
else can we do?
You tried to have fun?
Mhm.
Yeah.
The most fun place on earth.
We played
Yeah.
2 games. We played Let's Go to the Amusement Park and Is It Fireworks or Gunshots? It's my 2 favorite games.
That's Jersey.
That sounds about right. What?
No,
what
it was
theme
fun.
park?
We
Six
went
Flags.
yeah,
Oh,
Six
okay.
Flags, yeah. We
Okay,
went on
sure.
about 4 rides, and then Kevin and Pierre, who we were with, went to a couple more rides while Rowan and I sat back as we are the old men in the
Old
group.
men.
I realized that my back injury actually was like I wonder if I'm gonna seriously hurt myself here, and that only like really occurred to me about halfway through the trip too. I'm like, oh no.
And then it's like all you can think about, and it's like, oh, is the next one gonna break me? Was the one after that gonna break me? Like, when's it gonna stop?
So when me and Pierre went to the wooden one, that's where Mike and Rowan were like, okay, let's
Absolutely
not go to that
No,
one.
no. Wooden roller coasters are a different type of beast.
That's the point.
Mm.
I was like 16-year-old Rowan was upset about how much that rattled. Like it was
Right.
not gonna happen today.
Yeah.
I feel
30-year-old
Uh,
Rowan is dead in a gutter after that.
So anyway, all that said, obviously
get
we're
us
going
on
to
track.
Pokésports.
Come on,
Mike
Harrison.
and Kevin. You know, we reference y'all for people who've listened to our podcast from the beginning. Our pilot, we said, hey, the 3 of us actually met because of Pokésports, which you know, that's you 2. So I guess we should probably start off and say thank you for bringing us all together.
Yes.
Listen,
Same.
Pokesports isn't just us 2. When I start a video, I say good afternoon, Pokesports. That's everybody. Everybody's Pokesports.
It was so wholesome.
That's adorable.
Okay.
Mike,
Right.
Mike's saying no. He's
No, Pokesports is me.
Kevin's making a stretch, as we call it in the business.
I love
Ooh,
it.
big stretch.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't just, you know, you guys that met over here. Like we all met. I almost knocked over my water. Like we all met through
Sure.
Pokesports, except for me and Kevin.
Absolutely,
We
and
go
that's
back, I'll
I
get
do
to that.
want to talk about that because that'll be fun.
Hmm.
But yeah, so the 5 of us, and then our also like extended Discord friend group,
Yeah.
have been together for 3 years. which is baffling to me. As long
Wow.
as Sword and Shield
Yeah.
isn't out.
Scary.
Yeah, I
It
guess it's
should be.
running up on 3, huh?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, okay, maybe a little under. Okay, sorry, hyperbole a little bit.
We gotta exaggerate here.
Yeah, it's fine.
It sounds better for
17
the
years we've been together.
So long.
Wow.
That's how long COVID happened, right? That's...
Feels like
Feels
That's
like
what
it.
just
felt
Oh,
yesterday.
gosh.
Feels like it.
So beyond that, like y'all just said, y'all have met before Pokésports. Y'all have been friends for years prior. To tell us what. Tell that story.
I like Mike. Mike tells the story better.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we were
Started with the
kidding.
name.
We were kids. What's that?
Oh, when we first met? Oh,
yeah,
yikes.
we were children.
I thought when the Pokésports first started.
No,
Well,
we
that's like
were, we
midway
were
in the
like
history
late
here.
teens, early 20s.
Both are great stories.
It's true. Yeah. So we were where did we even meet? Jeez, I think I messaged you
Mount
out of the blue. Like
Silver
both of us. Yeah,
Battles.
Mount Silver Battles was the name of the channel that we were both working on. Kevin was the one who actually put it together. I was one of the people who was making Pokemon content at the time, and I wanted to, join in and be a part of it. It was like a collaboration channel back when those were like a big thing back in like, I want to say 2014, 2015. So we did that for a little while. It didn't really go too far. It went well. It did well.
Mhm.
We just didn't go too far with it. But Kevin
Internal
and
conflicts.
internal conflicts. We had a friendship from that, and we met up in person after like, I want to say like a year or something like that, in PAX East, one of those conventions. Had a great time. And the rest is history. Like,
So you said
And then
that
we
back in-
decided
Oh, go on.
this was back in 2014. And then we decided to play Pokemon again
yes,
when Sword and Shield came out.
5 years later.
Mike had a podcast with like another friend group where it was esports related, and I was a listener of that podcast because you got to support your friends. And I was like, esports starts with an E and Pokey ends with an E.
It really is just that simple.
Hey Mike,
it was
we
a
should
great
make
name.
a Pokemon podcast
Yeah.
named Pokésports.
Gotta admit, the name is great.
And then
It
3
is.
days later, we did.
It
So-
truly took 3 days to build that. Yeah.
did y'all take like a big? I have like spied on your old Pokemon content. This goes way
Uh-huh.
back. You were an actual child, Kevin. Like
Haha. I was
and-
19.
Yeah.
Okay, close, I guess legally, but like this was a long time ago. So was there like a break on like competitive stuff? Or were you just like all in on Pokemon stuff for that many years?
Unfortunately, there was a league break. I say
Yeah.
unfortunately because I lost years of my life playing that game.
And I mean, this being a gaming podcast, like people know that. That once
We
you
should
get into
Legends
we
is
should
a
talk
game.
about the dangers of League of Legends. I
Sure.
get, like
It's bad.
yeah.
It's a drug, and I
there's the
avoided
dangers
it.
of League of Legends. There's the dangers of World of Warcraft. Like those are
Uh.
the two games that will like eat your soul, and you'll be happy to let it do that.
I get these like notifications about like common Discord like not scams, right? Like where
Yeah.
people will send you a link and it's like, oh, people are talking bad about you in this channel, you should click it, and then boom, virus, right? And then I got one that was just like, be careful, don't click on this link. If you do, it will download League of Legends to your computer.
It's just a link
Okay.
to leagueoflegends.com.
Which is
While
way
we're on
worse
the
than a
topic.
computer virus.
While we're on the topic, who does everyone main in League of Legends?
Oh no.
I'll go
I'm
first.
clean. I'm clean.
Oh, you're clean?
He's
I'm so
clean.
proud of you. I'm so
It
proud
means
of you.
nothing.
I main Blitzcrank and Thresh, so you can tell a
Yikes.
lot about my personality with those
He's a
two
hook champ
characters.
player.
He's a support. I
I-
think my mains have been like Heimerdinger.
Oh,
And
I can tell
Malzahar.
what kind of player you are too.
These words mean nothing to me. I have never played.
Good,
League
I,
of
I'm
I
Legends.
so
watched
proud
I
of
watched
you.
the Netflix
Nice.
series. Do y'all play anybody from that or no?
It's
Heimerdinger's in
Because
it.
that was good TV. I almost wanted to start playing because of that, and people were like, "No, don't do it. Don't just like, don't let
love
them
not
when-
trick you."
indicative of the experience at
I
all.
love when the fan base is so big, people tell you not to. Like instead of telling you to do it, they are just like, "Don't."
Yeah, we're like begging people to get into VGC, and they're like, "We don't need the people. Just like save yourself."
Yeah, I mean, like at the beginning of Elden Ring, everyone was like, "Oh, you gotta play Elden Ring." When Nino Kuni came out, everyone was like, "You gotta play Nino Kuni." But the League of Legends is just like, no, we will actively make fun of you if you join us because it's just that bad.
Don't make our mistake is what
Yeah.
it has become.
Mhm.
That is-
I am a Xerath and Lux main, so
Ooh.
spellcasters.
And now we play Unite. Is like that's our healthy fix away from League while still having a MOBA fix.
It's like the methadone of League of Legends, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot less toxic. Like I actually enjoy
Well, you
myself.
can't talk.
playing
Oh,
Unite.
it would be
Took away
so
all of
if we could talk.
Yeah,
it would be
imagine if
so
there's a
toxic.
chat.
Yeah.
We like when us three and Pierre were playing together. Like, I'm glad like no one can like we were playing with can hear what we said about them. This is just, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
It would be just as bad, if not worse.
Have you ever tried turning on the voice chat?
Is there voice chat?
There's
Yeah,
voice
it's
chat
a
in the game?
nightmare.
I just assumed Nintendo would not allow that.
It's a dystopian nightmare. Yeah, because like there's some people who just kind of turn it on and leave it on. And you know, the Nintendo Switch microphone is not that great. So like you'll get air sounds, you'll get people yelling in the background, you'll get parental disputes. Like it's bad.
Just a lot of pixelated slurs, like whatever.
Right.
All right,
Right.
y'all. I
You're gonna
figured
have the
out our
audio
next
from a-
podcast idea.
Yeah.
We're just
Just
gonna
turn on voice
play.
chat.
Yeah, just turn on voice chat and Unite and see what happens.
That's it. That's all you need to do.
That's gonna end up like on a TrueCom podcast one day. Someone it picking up something.
Oh boy. Okay, so that actually leads into something. So y'all do a bunch of stuff for Pokésports, right? So like it's the podcast, it's the VGC, but I mean I know Mike is more into the singles, or at least I'm sure you still are. Even though like VGC is like bigger right now, so like
Yeah.
you got your dip your toes into it. But then there's Unite. I think y'all even like talked about the card game a little bit. Like, what's your favorite bit of Pokésports? Like even the community we talked about the Discord. It was really active at one point. I'm sure it'll pick up again with Scarlet and Violet. Like Pokésports means a whole bunch of things now. Like what?
Mhm.
Like what's
Yeah.
the best part for y'all?
Kevin, you go first.
I think for us, it's like we do juggle a lot of things. Sometimes the things that we do juggle, we are very ambitious. Like we're just like, hey, let's make a website. Hey, let's make a Discord. Hey, let's run a tournament. You know, it's there are so many things
Yeah,
that
the
we can juggle.
Liege. Yeah, God.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, that was another one that I was just like thinking of today. Actually, by listening to your last week's podcast talking about like, you know, tournaments in general, really got me thinking of like, you know, grassroots tournaments.
some.
And yeah, I know. And we're working on it. And we're thinking
I totally get it. Like we've been talking about doing one for weeks, and I was like, it's still on the agenda, but like it's a lot easier said than
But
done.
it takes time, it takes effort.
Yeah, the thing is, like, we want to run like the Liege was always nice because one, I feel like the way that we ran it was great. We had group stages, we had tournament brackets, which is not what you typically see in VGC tournaments. You typically see like Swiss rounds and top cut. And what's great about that is people with less time can make their own time. They can align with their own people.
Mhm.
And that being like a month-wide event, if you don't do good one month, you always have the next month to do something, right? Or you have a second chance. And the thing is, we want to make sure that we can give back as much as we can in terms of like earnings. And the real reason why we stopped running the Liege was simply because less and less people were interested in the game. So when less and less
Us
people
included.
the hiatus didn't help, but hey, we're back now.
The hiatus was because of that.
No, I mean, like it's kind of silly to imagine that people are gonna like the hype from the launch of a new game is gonna persist for years,
for
right?
3
Like,
years.
Right.
Like
yeah,
Mhm.
it was gonna happen eventually.
yeah. Like we're like I think like at least all or most of us are like still pretty into VGC, but like it's more of it's an enthusiast scene right now, and it'll
Yeah.
branch out back again in like 6
Absolutely.
months or so when Scarlet and Violet drop. But like this is just natural life cycle.
When they hopefully remove the dog.
Yeah, and I mean that's kind of the reason why like these I want to say regional, no, it's not that. Like you were talking about something today, Kevin, you and Rowan, where you wanted to join Team Portugal. What's that whole thing
World
called?
Cup.
World Cup.
The Victory
World Cup, yes.
World Cup,
That's kind of why that is so successful, I would say, because like there's a whole one side of VGC tournaments does like 1 day competitions where people just sit there for 8 hours and they play, and then
It's a
there's the
lot.
other side. It's a lot, then there's the other side, which does like month long, like kind of pick and choose your times, or your times are predetermined, where like you have that time to breathe while you're playing it. And it's nice to have that. And I think that's where the Liege kind of succeeded, is it gave people that breathing room.
Mhm.
I mean, it doesn't really answer your question as to my favorite. I wouldn't say that the Liege was my favorite part of Pokesports, just because of how much like raw effort that thing took. And when we bring it back for Scarlet and Violet, it's going to be a whole whack of work again. That, like, while I'm excited to do, is like, oh man, that's going to be it's going to be a nightmare, a happy nightmare. I think my favorite part of what we do, believe it or not, is actually the streaming. Because whenever we actually get around to streaming, it's like one of the more fun experiences, getting to talk with people, getting to play with people, seeing like interaction happening. Videos are great, and it's nice to see people like respond to it, but it's never in real time, and like you kind of miss that.
Mhm.
So, I
Especially
don't
if
know,
you
that's what I
record
think.
like in advance. There are some times where like
Yeah.
I'm like 3 days in advance, and the people are commenting on a video that happened 3 days ago, and I'm just like, I have
I
no
don't
idea what
remember
you're
that.
talking
I
about.
don't remember.
Honestly, dude, the fact that you do daily uploads or close to just blows my mind entirely. Like,
It blows
Yeah.
mine too.
weekly was too much for me, and now I do like once every 2 weeks, and that was with a break at some point. Like,
It's hard.
that's just a lot.
is.
You work, you have a full time. Like, I remember like the hiatus was
Yes.
partially because you like got your real estate gig, which
Mm.
awesome. But like
And then
that
the
makes it
market
even
crashed.
harder. By the time I'm done with work at the end of the day, I'm like, now I'm maybe thinking about the next idea. I don't know.
I mean,
Yeah.
y'all mentioned that before, right? You said y'all are super ambitious. You do all these different things. It's wild how, I don't want to say it's wild how successful you are, because I feel like that diminishes you guys. But I mean, like, it's wild how much effort you guys were able to put in, being two adults with full-time jobs, with all this stuff, daily uploads, weekly podcasts. I think at some point before the hiatus, y'all were like, we went 2 years and didn't miss a week. It was so cool. And it's like, it's holy crap. The three of us, we got together. We had the idea to start this podcast in January, and our first episode came out in like May. Okay.
I just
Like-
looked down at my calendar. I was like, oh no.
I'll tell
That's
you
what
what,
it
though.
is.
The reason why we're so ambitious is that me and Mike both share a very similar goal. Me and Mike both strive to be our own bosses. Like,
Huh.
that's the inevitable goal, right? And we both want to build something that we created that we could say is our own, and that's what we go for. At least that's what
Yeah.
I go for.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's nice to have your own thing, for sure.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I don't know if necessarily being my own boss is my thing, but certainly like getting to apply everything that I know and that I want to learn, and like learn it and do it is really, really cool. So yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, that's
Cool.
super cool.
So, what's the
Um,
plans for the future, I guess, is the
Ooh.
question. So, what
Rowan
okay,
beat me
so
to it.
yeah, all right. I'm going to put y'all on the spot right now.
Go
Mm.
for it.
How, and I only kind of ran this by the other guys, so, we'll see how that goes. How do y'all feel about casting?
I approve.
Casting, like commentating tournament play.
Y'all
I'll
have
go
talked about that before. You wanted to try it.
Yes. I do want to try it. I don't know if it's for me, because I am very outspoken, sometimes more than I should be.
That's what we
Kevin's
need.
like censoring
that's
himself
good.
all over the place right now.
I'm very outspoken. I mean,
Well,
hey, let's
we need a caster on like World Cup, on official VGC content, who just starts blasting stations.
After
Like,
dark.
who
Yeah.
thought this was a good idea to
Zero
put in the game,
filter
and
is
just
what
they
you
have to censor you during the stream, like something like that.
Listen, if I was invited to do something like that, I would take the shot. I mean, not everybody gets the ability to cast a competitive Pokemon game. It's a very close, tight-knit community of casters that are involved. You kind of need to know someone to get in.
Yeah.
And we've spoken to many casters, and it's not an easy job. Just hearing
No.
some of the things they have to do, it's intimidating. But you only live once, right? And if you're gonna get invited, I'll do it. I do like competing though. I really do enjoy competing, and I feel like competing is the space for me. Um, but yeah, that's kind of where my space is. Like, hey, if I'm gonna get an opportunity, I'll take it.
How
Yeah,
about you, Mike?
I'm kind of in the sort of yes, sort of no. I'm in the same camp where like if they asked me to do it, I'd be happy to try, and I'd be happy to like study up and actually give it my best shot. But if it was like an application process where they're like, oh, you just have to apply and be one of these people, send in your reel. I'm not really the acting type. My thing is more in the background and like setting up tournaments and setting up discords and setting up podcasts. Like that was kind of my bread and butter, and that's kind of how Pokésports exists, is because like I think I was particularly good at building the framework, and Kevin was particularly good at being like amazing in every other capacity, like on camera
cute
and
face.
on voice. He's got a cute face. He's got the hat. It's great. You can't see it with the headphones, but he's got like earrings, and that's like, whoa, ooh, cool. Oh, dang, look at
Oh.
that.
Oh,
Edgy.
that's
Never
bad
seen
boy.
that.
I like it.
He's a
Edgy.
bad boy, right? Anyway, yeah, but really my thing is more like I want to be in voice work, specifically for Pokemon. If I could ever do a single like trailer or video where my voice is in the background, then I will have succeeded in.
You got
in
the voice for
Pokemon.
it, man.
I was
I
gonna
agree,
say,
yeah.
man,
Yep.
Mike's voice, 10 out of 10.
buttery smooth,
Can't compete. I
buttery
got
smooth
so
voice.
much treble. I can't even get a single bass note out.
No,
They
that's
just
really
everything's
interesting
all
though,
about that
because
trouble.
like I've heard you say that you like really want to be on the entertaining side of things, and I always associate that with casting. But you're like, there's so many aspects to that. And
Oh,
voice
there's a
work is
lot.
absolutely,
Yeah.
And especially like outside of Pokemon's it's a little rough because it's still kind of a developing esport, but in things like League of Legends or things like Dota or things like World of Warcraft, like they have analysts. They have
Mhm.
full-on people in the background, like really sussing this stuff out and like figuring out the meta and figuring out all the like different
an actual
nuances
sport.
to the esport. Yeah,
Yeah.
right, for sure.
You know, it's like
you
watch
get
a
you can buy
football
like
game.
voice packs.
Exactly.
You see,
Like, can you imagine buying Mike's voice to play over your KGC match?
Oh, that would be amazing.
Don't give up.
Don't.
I like that one. Don't.
The thing that scares me about casting is that there are just some word choices that I say sometimes. I guess I'll take you a little bit inside baseball. I learned that term from Mike, by the way.
Mm.
I uploaded a video today where I said something very inappropriate about a Machamp. I didn't mean to though, but so many people clipped it and sent it to me.
Sometimes you just gotta do Machamp. I don't know.
Something along those lines. It's like finally I get to
exactly
do
those lines.
Machamp or something.
Yeah, something along those lines. That. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Ding dong, it's Bronzong.
I mean, that's how that happens, though, right? It's like, something comes to your mind and you're like, I just got to say it. Whether it's good or bad, like it's out there now.
And
Yep.
sometimes it makes great content.
And
Other
sometimes
times it
great
makes
content.
great clips for the audience.
That's exactly
I
it.
love being a meme. Keep memeing me, guys. It's funny.
Okay, cool. Let's. I want to go back in time a little bit more than we did previously.
Well,
Ooh.
So y'all, when did you start liking Pokemon, liking VGC competitive Pokemon? Y'all said that you met and you started with a kind of group VGC channel, but that means you were doing VGC before that, maybe, and maybe even content creation before that. So what was even past that?
So I was actually doing singles before I started doing VGC. VGC wasn't until Sword and Shield for me. I first started watching stuff with like content creators like MBZ, like Shofu, those guys, like that whole crew of people. So again, like PAX, that same year that I met up with Kevin was a very cathartic experience because all of those people were there, and like I got to actually meet the people that I watched a lot. So that was something. But when I started getting into Pokemon, I think a lot of people who were into Pokemon now were also into Pokemon as little babies. So right when Red and Blue came out, I was all up on that blue train. I remember I got my
It's the
first
right
Game
choice,
Boy.
by the way.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
I got my first Game Boy in a box that was completely full of socks. Yeah, I opened
Oh,
up the
one of
thing.
these.
Yeah, it was one of those, and like I opened it up and like totally covered with socks. I had to move like some socks
Okay.
aside.
Was
I
this
was like, oh yeah,
was
that's
this a
cool.
pocket or was it with the brick?
No, it was
that
Game
took
Boy
form?
Color. Game Boy
Oh,
Color.
oh, okay. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Lucky
I
kid.
missed out on the whole Game
So
Boy,
a
Game Boy
lot of
Pocket
socks.
era. Oh yeah, a lot of socks, a lot of them. But yeah, it had Pokemon Blue in it, and then from there, Blue, Yellow, I skipped Gen 3.
Oh, it's the worst choice to skip, though.
I
Yeah,
know.
I was gonna
Well,
say,
it turns
that-
out, Red,
that
I didn't know.
hurts.
I didn't have a Game Boy Advance. I got a Game Boy
That's
Advance SP
totally
later.
fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my skip generation's a lot worse though. My skip generation was Black 2, White 2.
Hot take, worst generation. Putting it out there.
Really?
me.
That's
Take me
that-
out.
Everyone else says otherwise.
I know. That's
I
why
think
it's a why it's a
Black
hot
2,
take.
White 2 are better than Black and White. I think.
Yes.
I think that's my step.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
The sequel
Okay.
is better than the original. This never happens.
Always, yeah.
Yes.
So I guess for me it was Crystal because I guess I was too young for Red and Blue. So I started with Crystal, which essentially had Red and Blue in it just later. And when it comes to like VGC, I first started YouTube content creation. I think I was like my freshman year of college.
Well, you started with like Call of Duty, though, right?
Yes, that was my first YouTube. Oh, we're going that far back.
Oh, we're going that far.
Yeah.
Okay, then I
Content
am a
creation in
senior in
general.
high school now, and that is when I'm playing Call of Duty. At this time is when I was skipping Black 2 and White 2. So
Ah.
so what ended up happening was that Call of Duty, yes, it's a toxic game, but it did teach me how to edit. It taught me how to, clip videos, how to use Sony Vegas at the time. Now I don't use Sony Vegas, I use Adobe Premiere. But the concept is all still there. It taught me how to make a thumbnail, how to tag videos, how to, old school YouTube things.
I have a question on that actually.
What's up?
Can you teach me how to make a thumbnail?
Sure.
Okay, cool. After the podcast. we'll talk.
You have to download this thing called Photoshop.
Oh. Hmm.
So then that gave me all like the baseline skills of how to be a content creator. And then Call of Duty got toxic. I put it down. I played Pokemon and I played Black and White, not Black 2, White 2 because I never owned those games.
Do you own them now?
Yes, I do. I
Okay,
own them
good.
both now, and they are very expensive. But beyond that, the when I first started playing Pokemon and I recorded Pokemon, it was like I had a little tripod for my iPhone. I put it in front of my DS. It was great.
Oh, glorious.
Yeah, it was amazing. And honestly, say what you want. If you didn't have money for a capture card at the time, which I didn't, I was in college.
A 3DS capture card sounds wild
Well,
too.
because
like,
they're
as a
stupid,
concept.
right? Like it's.
Yeah.
Oh,
Did you have to like modify the DS?
Yes, you had to
One of them was
send you
that.
had to send your DS to some sketchy stranger online on some sketchy website and hope that you got it back in 2 months. That's
Or
how
you
you
had
did
to-
it.
Or you had to buy out a completely new 3DS that
Mhm.
was already modded. That's what I
For
did.
like $500. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
oh,
Just a lot for a child 10 years ago.
right.
And I think I first started doing doubles because online back in like Black and White, when you played online, you were only allowed to do the single battles or the double battles. And I was like, well, I have 6 Pokemon. I want to use more of them. So I like the option of using 4 a lot better than 3. So that's how I started off. Then I uploaded like a bunch of mono something teams, like mono normal, mono ghost, mono blah 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 blah, until Sword and Shield, not Sword and Shield, X and Y.
All the way through that.
Yeah. It's a long time.
8 years of just straight mono teams.
Gets repetitive after a while.
Yeah, you know.
X and Y was my first like serious YouTube.
That's when they introduced fairy types. And then you had a
Yeah.
whole new thing to do.
I had a new monotype video to make. Yeah. And then I skipped Gen 7 because I played League, which is a problem.
Honestly, though, yes.
Yeah, we,
So-
that's the end of my story.
All right. Favorite format for each of you, and it doesn't have to be VGC and it doesn't have to be Sword and Shield, just favorite format, period.
that you've
It
ever
can be like X and Y OU or something, like whatever.
That's
I,
hard.
I think it might actually be X and Y OU for me. It's either that or like Omega Ruby or like Oras OU. Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire.
It's such a. I mean, we're both gonna say X and Y. It was VGC 14 and X and Y. A close second was VGC 15 and Oras. I think that's when Oras came out. I'm not sure anymore. But yeah, it was VGC 14 and X and Y because that's when I was allowed to use Talonflame. I'm not allowed to use that anymore. That's when I was allowed to use Manectric. Can't use that anymore. I was allowed
Yeah.
to use
You're allowed if you really
You
want to.
can.
Murkrow and Nidoking and Aegislash. It was a good time.
Yeah. It was also a time where like they really focused hard on fixing up the game. Like every game has that moment where like the devs took a good like 3 to 6 month period to like really make sure that their game worked properly. Like League was really bad at the very beginning of it, and then a couple years later it got worse. World of Warcraft, same kind of thing. Like it was
Like,
really
what if
good.
dragons shouldn't be this strong? Like, what if
Yeah.
Dragon Gem Draco Meteor shouldn't kill literally everything in the game?
Right. So I like they made a few key changes that I was like, oh yeah, those are great. At this point, I don't remember what they are because they just keep on changing. And what worked back then maybe doesn't work now, but then they replaced it with better stuff. So
What are y'all's opinions on dynamic speed?
Oh damn, we get interviewed now. That's awesome. Okay.
Yeah,
I was
Okay.
because
gonna
I'm
ask
curious.
how
Because
that
Moxie
yeah.
posted a video on it.
Do y'all
and I
want to go
disagreed with
first,
it.
or
Yeah.
can I or can I just go off on this?
Yeah, you go first. Why not?
I thought Moxie had an interesting. So I think dynamic speed is as a concept is awesome for like making people. I think it opens up strategies immensely. Like you can talk however much you want about airstream being unhealthy, but it like forces people to really think about like how the whole speed tier like can change for everything on the field immediately just because something else moves in that way. But
Yeah.
I think he's right in that it invalidated so many tailwind setters, and I was almost jealous of people getting to play in earlier gens when it wasn't there, because so many tailwind setters like the Lotties, like Yveltal, like all these like bulky tailwind setters are basically useless now. And I think that's partially because of Dynamax, and I think Dynamax going away is going to get rid of that to some degree. But the fact that you can set Tailwind on that turn and then have your Dynamax target murder things immediately is just so influential. It basically means that you are working with Whimsicott or Tornadus or Talonflame if you're feeling spicy. Like that's it.
Or
Yeah.
Murkrow.
Yeah.
Which doesn't exist in Sword and Shield.
And I just to piggyback on that point, I think they, giving Tailwind a priority, but also giving Dynamax a higher priority is like completely undermining the whole dynamic speed change. Like you're making your main mechanic worth more than, all of the speed changes that you're already doing.
That's a really cool thought. What if Dynamax didn't happen until the Pokemon actually went?
What if
what if a slower Pokemon had to wait until their turn to Dynamax?
So you didn't get
like
the
a Z
HP
crystal.
right away. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't get the HP.
Yeah.
You can't use it defensively in that way, which like defensive maxing is like a very cool concept too. Like arguably that would take away some of the nuance as well. But like what if Calyrex Ice couldn't just double its HP immediately and you could just nuke it like that with something fast that can max? That would be neat.
It's something that I've been saying since the very beginning is that the Dynamax does too many things, but it like adding and it does that at the beginning of the turn is a point that I don't think I've ever considered up until like right this moment.
Literally saying that thought literally just like that's
it
so
does
cool.
too many things plus one.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Because I think all the things it does like adds so many cool strategic avenues, but it's very strong, and if you could add some drawbacks, that would be cool. I've always thought like maybe items shouldn't work with it, like, or maybe some items should, maybe choice items should just go crazy. Like I don't know, like I think there's a lot of like it's my favorite gimmick, but at the same time, I think it could have been done better.
I was gonna say I think that at least the three of us agree that it's our favorite gimmick, but I also do agree that it does too much. And I hope that the Scarlet and Violet gimmick is similar in that it can be used on any Pokemon, and that it's broader than Megas, and as broad as Dynamax and Z Crystals. Although, on Crystals.
What happened? Y'all don't like Mega Kangaskhan?
No, I wish that more
I think he's
things
cool.
could Mega.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. If everything like had an alternate form, that
It'd
would
be really cool.
But that's
What
that's
if
a
we
lot.
simply forced
Yeah.
everyone at Game Freak to work for 18 hours a day so that we could have a mega
Yes.
form for everything? Big
No,
break.
Yes.
no breaks, no breaks.
Are you
Let's,
volunteering?
let's evolve every Pokemon in the game one more time.
Yes,
Add a
every-
whole other stage of evolution.
Only
Good luck,
like
guys.
Yes.
not even 900. How many families of Pokemon are there? It's not 980 something.
Enough
probably
that a
that
lot of
divided
people
by
would have to
3.
work overtime and starve.
Like,
yes.
Did you say how many families of Pokemon there are?
Yeah, like because you don't need a
lines.
Mega Evolved
Species.
Charmander, right?
There's the Skitty and the
Oh, that's true.
Wailord family. There's the
Yeah,
Latias.
Maybe family wasn't the best word, but you know what I mean.
Y'all saw it at Nationals. Someone put
Oh,
the
yeah,
Skitty
we
and the
did.
Wailord plushies together.
We were there.
Yeah,
We went
yeah.
to see it in
Yeah, I saw the
person.
pictures.
We had to. We flew there just to see it.
Well, you knew what you were doing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There was some very, very smart person there.
Back on track on the speed though, I do agree that I think it's got a good. I like it for the game moving forward. I think is how
Yeah.
it's something that needed to happen. And the tailwind thing is kind of weird, and you could still use a bulky tailwind setter, but you're just you're losing out on a turn, like you're setting up Trick Room.
Mhm.
But I think as far as your icy winds, electro webs, stat changes like that, it's a bigger. I like having that access. I think that's worth it. Losing your tailwind setters personally.
I think the issue is just that Whim is too strong, right? I think
Yeah.
that's the only Pokemon
Yeah.
that we can all agree that makes dynamic speed really annoying. Like Whim and
Yeah.
Torn, probably.
Well, I mean, y'all remember Series 10, right? Like where we didn't have
That's
Max.
any
Suicune-
prankster.
Suicune was a thing. You could
was
use
great.
Suicune
Yeah.
and you could set Tailwind with it, and it was cool. Like y'all casted a game with me using Suicune. It was awesome. Like it actually worked.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know. I think it's gonna get better later.
I'll believe
Yeah,
you.
it's just it's a Dynamax thing though. Really more than
Yeah.
anything, and just prankster stuff can be a problem.
Prankster is
Yeah.
rough, but all of this just adds more to the thinking, adds to the strategy, adds to you have to know what could do what on this board state of the game, right?
Mhm.
Which is bittersweet.
I think it makes more sense than Tailwind happening and then not taking effect until the following turn.
Logically, I agree. I think
Yeah,
it makes more
I think
sense,
it
like,
makes more
thematically, I
sense.
guess.
It's like, oh, this Tailwind isn't happening yet. It's building up
coming.
behind us.
It's coming.
It's coming. Yeah, you can see it coming on the horizon.
Okay, here's what I want: make Tailwind do like 10 base power damage, so it's no longer a status move, and Prankster doesn't affect it.
Yeah,
Oh,
Ooh.
interesting.
that would be.
Ooh.
And then they
Very
would give it
interesting.
priority for some reason.
Yeah, or make it priority by default, and then
Everyone gets
is Prankster
priority.
Tailwind. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, that
So
does make sense. It's
and then
one
you
way
make
to
it a flying
balance
type
something.
move. Then you make it a flying type move, and Talonflame is the only one that can actually cast it with priority.
Talonflame gets 2 times
Hey.
priority with it. Yeah, there we go.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It would get 2, yeah.
And then Kevin gets Talonflame back. Everyone wins.
All right, Game Freak, you heard it here.
Yep.
Hire all of us.
We can design your mega evolutions. Trust us.
Oh, no, we didn't say that.
We'll
We
give
did
you
not
the
say
Mega
that.
Flygon and Mega Milotic that everyone else asked for.
I will absolutely butcher that. Like, if you ask me to draw what a Mega Flygon would look like, no.
Have you
that
seen
would
Mega
be
Kangaskhan? They just took
messy.
the baby out.
Yeah.
fair.
You,
This is
you
true.
can't mess this up.
I'll just add a second tail to Milotic and give Flygon a second head. I'm done.
Flygon just lifts its glasses up. Like, that's
There
all
we
it
go.
is. Goggles, and boom, Mega Flygon.
Then he gets sand in his eyes.
That's great.
Okay, I'm gonna flip it back around because I think we're supposed to be interviewing you, and y'all are on your game and flipped it around on us. But okay, we're talking about gimmicks. what do you? Someone's car alarm is going off.
I was gonna say
That's Jersey. That's the Jersey.
Oh,
hat
okay,
thing.
neat.
okay, that's
I
you. I was
can't
like,
stop
what's
that one.
going on? I was like, what?
Yeah.
Why is something playing in the background?
Oh, you should hear what Nork sounds like. It's a lot worse.
Okay.
Now
what
hold
do
on.
you want?
Was that you saying Newark or New York?
Newark, New Jersey, the place where we were staying.
Okay. Because you said
Okay.
Newark,
That's what
And-
it's pronounced like.
and I still don't understand that.
It's Nork.
It's Newark.
Is that English?
It's
Anyway.
kind of.
Kinda, yeah. What do you want the Scarlet Violet gimmick to be?
Oh,
Ooh.
Yeah.
good question.
See, everyone's talking about type changes. I think that would be fine. But I saw
It's
a
not
new
flashy.
theory. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like fine, you can do type changes. The way they would make it flashy is if the Pokemon actually changed color in
I was
order
gonna say, a
to
yeah.
palette
mimic.
swap wouldn't be too
yeah.
hard.
I mean, it's just
of.
playing with the hue and going like this, so they could do that.
Oh, like shiny Pikachu.
Exactly. But I saw something on TikTok earlier today, conveniently, where they talked about each game having, like, not the word primal, but like old school Pokemon. Like if you buy Scarlet, you get some old school regional forms, and then
Oh.
if you buy Violet, you get futuristic versions of those Pokemon. Just like evolution taken a step further. Which would be interesting. I mean, it fits the theme thematically, with like time being a very key aspect of this game, from what we can tell from the trailers. But I don't know how they turn that into a gimmick.
I was gonna
Like
say,
a
I feel
battle
that
game.
would
Yeah.
I would
be-
definitely love to see it be a time thing. What I was seeing is like people saying like, what if you could like rewind a turn or something, which
Gross.
Yeah.
No.
is like
No.
thematic, but would be horrible.
And what, each person's allowed to do it once? Oh,
Everybody
Yeah.
gets them all
I'm
in.
already tired of seeing through all these animations. I don't have to replay a whole turn.
Only if
It'll
you
be
can
it'll be
hit
at least
times
as long
2
as the Dynamax
speed.
animation. Yeah.
Everyone
Yeah.
gets one free full restore each battle. They just heal all the way back up and heal all their
Oh, God.
statuses.
Careful, you're tossing out a lot of ideas, and you're probably going to hit it on the nose once.
Yeah.
And
I'll tell
we're
you-
we're all going to be like, "Oh, that's such a terrible idea here." And then when it's
then-
the actual thing, we're going to be like, "Oh no."
Hear me out. What if there's just no gimmick? What if this is just raw Pokemon?
The gimmick is no gimmick.
Like,
that
why do
would
we need
almost
to
make
have a
sense.
gimmick?
The gimmick is the game.
Because they
Yeah,
gotta have
but
something to
so-
advertise it with.
Well,
Yeah.
well,
Before
I
I have
think
no
it's-
gimmick, it
but
did
they
fine.
have that open world, right?
Yeah,
So if
you
you
get to
actually-
play
Yeah.
with 4 people sometimes. That's great. That's the gimmick.
There's your gimmick.
I get
but
to
like-
battle with Mike and 2 other friends, and we just
Yeah.
take over the battle
the
spot.
3 of
ladder.
us have to fight for those 2 spots. One of us is left standing. But like,
I lose.
wait. But I would almost wouldn't be shocked if there is no gimmick, just because they're putting effort into open world, better online multiplayer, like, and then it's just, hey, for VGC, for the battling, for that, there's nothing.
Would
Or maybe
people
everyone
mind
gets a
that,
full
though?
restore, right? Like,
Okay,
What?
we would buy that. Oh, we'll buy anything.
Would you
let's be real
mind
with
it?
you.
I mean, would you
But,
mind
like,
there just be nothing?
I'd be okay with that, but I think like
so.
you got to remember that we are not the audience that they're marketing to.
Fair.
They are
Yeah.
like these games sell 20 million copies. I want to
They
like
print money.
really like I
I buy
talk a
2
lot
of
with
them.
like I talk a lot with the Smash community, and everybody's like, why are these games getting representatives? This game sold like 1 million copies. Why isn't there a Pokemon DLC? Like no other game comes even remotely close unless it's named Mario or Zelda, and even then they don't really touch Pokemon. Like
Mhm.
there are so many people, and you need something big and flashy to hook them. And most of them did not watch E3 before Sword and Shield. They did not see that Dexit was happening. They didn't get all butt mad on Twitter about it and screech about trees. They just saw that thing got big and it blew something up. And
Kaiju,
I want to,
Pokemon!
and I want to play with Kaiju. Hell yeah! Like that
I read
was,
an
that was their
article
thing.
about that, about their reasoning for Dynamax, basically how it came. They said it's because it was their first time putting it on a big screen. You know, you could take the Switch, put it in a dock, and they wanted that the something to represent that. And that's pretty much how
True.
they just like, oh,
Mm.
Dynamax.
That's interesting.
Feels big.
They
So,
so
I
mean,
so they wanted to go big for the first, and they literally went big.
So there it is. You solved the mystery. The gimmick for this open world Pokemon game is going to be that you can freely move around the battlefield with your Pokemon, and you can dodge that way. There's your
Turns into an
gimmick.
RTS on top of.
Yes.
You could also
That's it.
punch the other Pokemon.
Punch the trainer, and it's like, no, you
I've
can't
been-
command your Pokemon
The-
this time.
Yeah, the
I've
trainers
been
fight on the side.
Pokemon D&D, like a tabletop RPG, but it's Pokemon.
That's fine.
And we're still at the low level stage, right? Where like we're using our starters. You can choose anything, but still everything's like level 1, not very strong, right? And I was about to lose to a Pidgey, so I just ran up and curb stomped it, like
That's
as my
great.
character.
You curb stomped a Pidgey. There's some morality issues with this one. That's just
It
a
was gonna-
bird.
it
dude.
we
was-
should
there were a lot
condone
of-
that on this
there were
platform.
a lot of them. They were gonna beat up my Dratini, so I
You said this was a PG podcast. We're
Yeah,
curb
hold on.
stomping
No, 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 no.
birds.
He said it's a Pidgey podcast.
Oh,
yes, yeah, exactly.
Well, that's when you have that like classic Pokemon anime. You just have to find a Pikachu and throw it up in the air, and it does Thunderbolt or whatever. And
And then the Onyx faints. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I mean the
That's
Pokemon
everything.
TV show is PG, and I'm pretty sure Ash like underwent like serious brain damage, like most episodes, like physically.
Right off the
it
right off
didn't
the pilot.
start
yeah.
off with
right?
brain damage.
Right off the pilot.
And
Fell
that's
off his
implied, of
bike.
course, but
Fell off
Bunch
a
of
bike,
Spearows.
got electrocuted. Sounds
Y'all-
great.
y'all seen that theory about how Ash is like in a coma?
Just
Ash
had
in a coma.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's,
Okay.
That explains
It
his
makes
age.
the most sense. Yeah.
Exactly.
The
Dreams
last
of being a
episode, he just
Pokemon
wakes
master.
up.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, that's
Time
like
to get your
what was
starter.
that? Lost or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's probably going to be type changing. That's what
I mean,
everyone
yeah.
said.
And if that was actually the reasoning for Dynamax, where like if you put it in the dock and it goes up to the big screen and shows the big
You
Pokemon, like,
Dynamax your game, yeah.
what's the other gimmick for the Nintendo Switch? You switch, you know. So
Ooh.
switching typing.
Switch typings.
Oh, you're right, but
Yeah.
I'm so sad I heard that.
I
with my
hate it, but
ears.
yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
that's
do they
a very
return-
much like thanks
the
I
thing-
hate it moment. Yeah.
The thing is, if we're gonna find out what the gimmick is gonna be, we're gonna find out in the next trailer because both trailers 1
Yeah.
and 2 are very similar to Sword and Shield trailers 1 and 2. They were almost identical. Right?
They found
showed
the formula
exact
that
same
works.
Things. Yeah.
Mhm.
So whatever the third trailer is gonna be, third trailer Sword and Shield showed us Dynamax. So whenever that comes out, we're gonna know.
But
Which is
it's a
hopefully
very good point that you made, Rowan, where like the things that we as competitive players internalize and love and hate about the game are very different than like what the 20 million people who bought
Yeah.
Sword and Shield
What?
actually value.
What percentage of the Pokemon population do you think competitive people like us are?
0.5%, if that.
I would less than for sure.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
only a couple of people. How many people went to nationals for VG and Masters? Probably around like 400. NAIC, like
Yeah.
if it's
Well,
just 400,
They also
are
have
willing to
limited.
travel,
They have limited spots too.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
there's
wouldn't
fair.
go people
I
who
mean,
went.
So
Because
if
it's
you-
like
so Battle Stadium then.
Yeah,
I
if
think
you look
if-
at Battle Stadium, I think Master Ball has like what 30,000, 30,
yeah. I was gonna
40,000
say
people
the
in it each
the
season.
IC the biggest
do math.
ICs were about 30,000, right? 40,000.
Oh, that's actually probably the best.
There are a lot of
comparison.
places that you can pull from, and a lot of them have
Yeah.
a lot of overlap. That
Yeah.
it would be almost impossible to find the like close to a proper number. Like if you look at the amount of people who watched the TCG or VGC day one on the NAIC for 2022, that's like 83,000, 100,000, about 100,000.
Yeah.
Then you've
I'd
got
say
the people
100,000 is
who-
like the generous estimate.
Sure. And then you've got people who play Showdown. Then you've got people who play casually competitive in VGC but don't watch NAIC. Like, I don't know.
then you got people that did in the beginning of Sword and Shield but no longer do.
Yeah.
Would you
Yeah.
count
Also
them?
true.
I would hazard a guess that it's less than 500,000.
Sure.
That sounds.
Out of what was it?
So then
we're talking
Rowan's
million.
percentage is actually generous at 0.5.
So
Sure.
like, and again, 20 million sales of Sword and Shield.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're in the
and I mean, lots of
minority.
those are kids. Yeah.
Which is always
Yeah,
the case for competitive,
absolutely. Yeah.
but it's very magnified for Pokemon because of how big of a casual audience there is, which is kind of the same as Smash actually. Like you have this community of people who really take it far and really are like they see like the depth and the beauty in the game, but like they're not who Nintendo is selling to.
Right.
Like most people
Yeah.
are there to
Right.
get 4 people together and like smash Mario and King DDD together. Like
But I think Smash is made to be a competitive game secondarily.
It's a
Like
party game.
yeah.
Pokemon is not a secondary competitive game. It's like a tertiary or like
Or
whatever. the
two
fourth
core,
word
yeah.
is.
Yeah.
I was having
it's
an
like,
argument
eh?
with
Yeah.
someone at work today because they were talking about like I don't know Dragon Ball Fighter Z as like
Sure.
the game that they play
Yeah. I
competitively.
actually I played that a lot, like pretty seriously
yeah?
for a while. Yeah, yeah.
So they were talking about that game in general. They're like, "Oh, I play a lot of Dragon Ball Fighter Z." Like, and then I brought in, "Oh, well, I play a lot of Pokemon." They're like, "Pokemon? That's a baby game." I'm like, "Well, yeah, if you only play the story, it's a baby game." But like this is legit. Like this is really
Yeah,
serious. And they were like, "No way. Impossible. I beat that game in like 10 hours." I'm like, "That's not the point.
Yeah,
You're
but you can't beat me.
Try
And
to
I
beat me.
guarantee that you could beat the Dragon Ball Fighter Z story mode on your
Exactly.
first try.
True.
Also,
Oh, yeah.
Right.
yeah.
I've
That's
never
a very
played
good
Dragon
point,
Ball
yeah.
Fighter Z. Is
Yeah.
it fun?
No,
It
it is.
looks
It's
fun.
so yeah. Fighter Z is like it's made by the same people who make Guilty Gear and the new one DNF Duel. I think is pretty big right now. Like Arc
Mhm.
System Works, they make like competitive fighting games first and foremost in like an anime style. And so when they picked up Dragon Ball, it was awesome. Before that, every Dragon Ball game was super casual. It was just like
Yeah.
Mhm.
mash buttons, fan service.
Budokai.
Like here's all your Budokai, which was my
Yeah.
childhood, but it was not a real fighting game, right?
Budokai
Like
was a
it,
great game.
yeah.
Mhm.
Fight me.
It
I
was.
can
I had
final
a-
flash
I-
you until
I
the
had a
end
great
of
time.
time.
But yeah, no, I mean like Fighter Z is a pretty legit fighting game, but anybody who but I feel like someone who takes that really seriously should really understand that the IP does not determine whether it's serious
No,
or not.
Well,
I guess
absolutely.
so, like
But how
Like-
many times have we, even in 5 episodes of a podcast, have like joked about like, yeah, we play a child's game competitively. Like it like the
I mean,
IP might be
most of it-
so, but the competitive side is way more than what most people would ever see and
Yeah.
or even want to understand, which is sad to say out loud. I'm sorry I said it.
Yeah, it's true though.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't want to
that's
put
video
in that
games in
kind of effort.
general.
Yeah.
Yes,
Well,
correct.
and there's such a learning curve to get into VGC.
The barrier of entry is terrible.
Mhm. There's a 10-hour story mode plus a 2 to 3 hour end game. And then you have to learn how to actually play the format because the game doesn't teach you how to do that, of course. Then you got to, build the teams, which of course is difficult. And then you have to
Ooh,
learn how
maybe-
to pilot those teams, which is
Maybe that's the
incredibly
new
difficult.
gimmick. The new gimmick for Scarlet and Violet is they teach you how to play the game competitively.
Ooh, good gimmick.
Yeah,
New
it's very-
gimmick, they
a fun
installed
gimmick.
Showdown on the client.
That
go.
would be
Best
the best
gimmick.
thing.
What if the
Best thing
gimmick is that
ever.
all the battles are doubles and you choose 4 Pokemon?
Ooh.
So
Hmm.
I've seen
Novel
one
idea.
theory almost about that when it talks about the gyms and stuff that it might be like dual typed.
Oh, the gyms have 2
That'd be
types.
cool.
Like yeah, so they have 2 types, and
So
I don't know if
themes.
that'd be like
Yeah.
hinting at like
Yeah.
a double battle theme, which would be great if you go through the whole game with double battles. to
Yeah, I
get
think
people
Coliseum's the
used to
best
it.
game to this day because they did doubles the whole time.
Mm-hmm. Coliseum is like so ahead of its time too.
Yeah.
Like I go back and watch Coliseum, and I'm just like, this game tracks, dude. It's like still
No,
very, very.
How did the
good.
animations get worse after 20?
Like honestly, have you seen?
was
it?
actually
Like,
thinking
put it on
of-
the Switch.
I was thinking of picking up Battle Revolution and streaming that out.
Oh god,
that's fun.
you were gonna get so many good sound clips from the announcer in that
Really?
game.
It's
Yeah,
super
yeah, yeah.
effective.
Soup.
It's soup.
Yeah,
That's
they haven't
great.
had a new one of those types of games in a while.
No,
And
Smash
now they
'cause
never
they-
will because we have it on
now
console.
they're on. Yeah, now
They
we're on the
married
main
it,
console.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. But they can still put those animations in the game, please.
Technically,
Yeah.
Arceus is the Battle
Yeah.
Revolution of this gen.
I'd love to see some
It-
stuff from Arceus like integrated
Yeah.
into Scarlet and Violet, and they probably
Except for
built
that
Arceus at
battle
the same
system.
time. Yeah, not battle
Yeah.
system's trash, but like I'd love to be able to run my trainer around during the battle, and just kind of
Oh,
like
that's hilarious.
cli-
yeah.
climb around rocks while I'm doing the battle. Why not?
Just get knocked down. Like, oh no.
What
Go
if their
curb stomp a
gimmick
Pidgey.
is? Because the thing is, like, they've only talked about like actual open world, like in every single Pokemon
Yep.
website post. It's like open world, open world, open world. Like, I'm really hoping there's just no gimmick, man. I'm just like, fine. Open world is all that the casual player should need, right?
For
Yeah.
a casual player, yeah.
Yeah.
You're just
I-
saying, hey, this is an open world Pokemon game. What else do they need? That's what everyone's been asking for 25 years.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
like Breath of the Arceus was like the meme for ages. Like, give us more of that. Everybody was on. Like, it got old eventually. Like, it was clearly like a I don't know, a concept that they didn't fully flesh out, and were just like, this is the whole game. but it was so fun for like the first week
Right.
or two, and it was just universally everybody was like, yeah, this game looks god awful and I'm having the time of my life. Like,
Yeah.
do that but well.
Do this but better.
Yeah, and like you said, like they were probably developing Arceus right before or in parallel with Scarlet and Violet, and the fact that they're still kind of bringing some of those concepts over, even if it's just the open world aspect, like tested it with Arceus first, then maybe brought it to there, or I don't know how the dev teams work, right? I know it's two different teams, but still,
I don't remember where I read this from, so I can't source it. So just take everything I say with a pinch of salt. The Scarlet and Violet was actually in development following Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, from what I've heard,
Whoa.
which
Wow.
is like a
Interesting.
long
I
time.
mean,
to
yeah,
develop.
it's pretty
if
well
true.
accepted that they have multiple teams working on this stuff in
Yeah,
for
parallel.
sure.
So that wouldn't surprise me. And it looks great. It looks better
It
than
does
pretty
look
much
super
anything
good. Yeah,
they've
it
ever
does.
They
done.
added textures to
Right.
Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like,
They
you
don't
didn't
look
just
like
paint the
plastic
smiley
figures.
face onto them. Yeah.
Textures,
This is a
depth.
Shinotic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be
Shinotic
impressive.
is just a Ditto that's taken over an Among Us. That's all it is.
My wife did a Shinotic cosplay for DragonCon last year. It's
Amazing.
actually beautiful. I'll remind me to send you pictures. It's like huge, bigger than I can like fit in this like frame I have for myself right now. Massive foam mushroom head that has like LEDs built into it
Oh my
and
god, I love it.
glows, and
That's
then
wild.
like a full like white dress and everything. It was dope.
You know what's my VGC hot take? Now that we're on the
Tell us.
topic of shrooms, I want a regional Whimsicott that is a mushroom so I can get prankster spores. That sounds like a great idea,
It
right?
sounds like you want to watch the world burn.
I get
Yeah, that's
prankster
terrible.
spores,
I like it.
tailwinds, and everything else that
Like
Whimsicott offers. Awesome.
I like it.
See,
I
Caps
want to do it all.
Caps with me.
Give it fake out too. It's just a better Smeargle.
Smeargle?
It's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
Sprigatito evolves into. It's
Oh, no.
No. Mushroom
just
kitty.
a big mushroom
Mushroom
cat.
kitty.
I have something to say, but it's fine. I'll keep it to myself.
No, we're all friends here.
This is
No,
a PG
okay.
podcast.
Harrison
It's,
can
it's a
edit it out.
PG. It's a PG podcast.
We'll bleep it out.
This is
Do
gonna be
like a
one
long,
long
like a 30
bleep.
second.
Just cut to black,
That's it.
and
yeah.
then we come back. No. Okay, let's see. I think we've actually exhausted all of our talking points, which is fine.
Love doing that.
Yeah. Do either of you two have any more questions that we totally planned before this call?
Questions for ourselves.
What other
I
kind
think
of
he's
games
talking
do
to
you
us,
want
but
By the way, I should say the four of you.
I was gonna say, what other kind of games are you guys gonna get into in this podcast?
see, that's a really hard question because all
That
of us
is.
play very different things.
We do.
Like, I'm an MMO and fighting game addict, and I know Sheldon has been playing MOBAs, and Harrison's more on the single player experience stuff. So like,
Yep.
we could cover a lot, but none of us could actually bounce anything off of each other.
That's a fair
Yeah.
point. I mean, you guys did meet in VGC. I guess that's
Yeah.
why VGC. is a
Yeah,
common
that's
topic for
our
the pod.
common. I think the idea is more probably once if we more into the YouTube side that we can all like contribute to it like our own interests. I
Well,
feel like
and the
that's
other
probably
thing
the more the
too-
avenue.
The other thing too that we're thinking about for this is y'all experienced it. Sword and Shield went for 3 years, and I mean it got rough towards the end
Mhm.
to try and maintain making content and being able to talk about this stuff. And Series 12 is so long, whatever happens.
I'm
in
using
the
base
future.
Cali Rex. That's how long it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Really
still-
scraping the bottom of the barrel right now.
Still hurts
Harrison's
every time you
psychic.
say that.
You're using Celebi.
Music
But-
executor.
we wanted to bake in from the beginning the chance to branch out at least a little bit, right? Keep VGC as our grounding point, as the niche we can grow in to begin with. And I mean, especially with the new games coming out in just a few months, like we'll have a lot of that recurring content to go back to. But then at some point in a year or two or whatever, we can be like, all right, we had a really fun time with VGC. We're still gonna keep up with it, but let's talk about Guild Wars 2 because that game has been alive for way too long. and Mocha plays it every night.
That is one of my like 2 main addictions, basically.
Do you actually still play Guild Wars 2?
Oh my god, dude! Like hours a day. Yeah, I'm big into like the post game like rating scene, which I actually think has some overlap into a bunch of other games, just like instance like organized group content. I guess like the idea of everybody coordinating, and like y'all play Monster Hunter. It has a similar kind of vibe to it. Like maybe a little more organized. Like you have to like there's 10 people in a group and you have to like really coordinate what everybody's built to do and what everybody's doing together. But I feel like Monster Hunter is kind of the same thing. Like you send 4 people into the instance and you all have to work together.
Rowan
It's kind of a
has
similar
in the
vibe to that.
past, like 2 weeks or so, been, hey, can we record at this time and keep it short because I have a raid to get to. So yes, he plays it kind of seriously.
Wow.
Hey, listen.
Yeah, but it has been
Wow,
around
back
since
in the day.
2012. I remember like waiting for the beta in like sophomore year of college. It's
Oh,
actually
wow.
wild.
Did they
And I was
do
playing.
anything?
And I was playing 1 before that. Yeah.
Did they do anything special for like their 10-year anniversary? Has that
Oh,
happened yet?
that's this year. That's this year. It'll be
That's-
soon.
yeah.
We don't know yet. Yeah.
Oh, it's still coming.
Yeah. No, I mean, but
okay.
it's still like very. It will be this year. Yeah. It's still
Mhm.
like kind of pushing what an MMO can do, in that like I don't know if y'all see. You mentioned WoW is the thing that will suck your life away, and this is WoW Light, whatever. But they like the Dragonflight expansion that's coming out, and they like showed off a promotional video of like their new dragon mounts, and the animations are ripped directly from the Guild Wars 2 dragon mount, like frame for frame.
No way.
It's
Oh,
actually
wow.
really- yeah.
WoW stole it from Guild Wars 2.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
because the original Guild Wars devs are all WoW devs who quit in like 2006. Yeah.
Oh. I did not know that.
Okay, but wait, wouldn't that go the other way around if it was properly stolen?
I mean, you would think, but like they I'm saying like they have a lot of overlap in terms of who's at each studio.
Got
But
it.
yeah, they put this dragon mount out in like 20, God,
Guild
19 or
Wars
something,
did.
something along this line. Guild Wars 2 put the dragon mount out in like 2019 or so, and
Right.
WoW is still developing the expansion that will have that same mount in it. And the animations are
Amazing.
literally
Is this
ripped
why
from it, yeah.
Dragonite is your favorite Pokemon?
Dragonite is my favorite Pokemon because he is adorable as hell. And
That's a good reason.
Yeah,
Not wrong. Not wrong.
I think I've got 3 pieces of memorabilia back there now. You can kind of see on the camera. Yeah.
I see one.
It's
I see
okay. At least your
two.
favorite Pokemon isn't suspiciously shaped like mine.
What is
Yeah,
your
yours is
favorite? Oh yeah. Okay. That's a good question to wrap us up on. What are your favorite Pokemon? Like actual, just you have to choose one. No caveats.
Okay, let me go get mine to show you.
All right, Mike?
Kevin just leaves.
It's gone.
He got tied up.
He's got
TV was on in the other room. He was just like, "Oh, Breaking Bad."
I like this one a lot.
Oh my god.
Really?
I got a lot of
Really?
these. Yeah. I
Oh,
even
you
got
didn't know
this
this?
one.
Did you
for
really
It's
those-
not know
Boba Fett,
this?
by the way. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. For those who are not on video right now, yeah, it's
Yeah.
Wobbuffet, and why not?
Yeah, 'cause
Beautiful.
Why not?
Because why not? Wait,
Uh,
Rowan, did you not know that?
I had no. God no.
Oh, okay.
That's hilarious.
And we got a little guy.
That's adorable.
Hey, I understand liking the things with the little flippers for hands. Okay, I got you. All right, Mike.
yeah, mine was actually from the generation I skipped. I'm a Breloom stan.
Breloom is the best grass type.
Bloom.
Yeah,
Back to shrooms. Here we go.
that's true, right?
I didn't realize that only mushroom Pokemon get Spore, but it canonically makes a lot of sense.
It-
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess
Yeah.
it does make sense, huh?
Even the animation.
Wait, I've not
those-
realized that.
See,
till just
a-
now.
a
Harrison
spore
didn't
is a
realize
mushroom,
that
yeah.
either.
Well,
Yeah. No, same here. Like I did not know that, but yeah, it's makes sense.
You just see like the gif of the woman with like math equations like floating over
Yeah,
her
yeah,
face.
yeah,
is-
Yeah.
My desk is
I
full of
bought
Boba Fett now.
I bought a Breloom actually at NAIC, and I'm just realizing that I don't know where it is.
It's still at the Airbnb, is where it is.
That's probably
Oh,
where it
okay.
is, honestly. I think it might still be in my luggage, and I just
Okay,
haven't
we all have to
taken
coordinate
it out yet.
a regionals that we can all attend.
Absolutely.
At the same
Yeah.
time.
Yes.
That would be fun.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
that
one
was-
thing that we did at NAIC was actually talk to other people, which is wild. Don't get me wrong, Rowan, we love you, but we want to take you and throw you into the what's it called when you're not an introvert?
Trash?
No.
Oh,
I was gonna say
I don't know
throw
where
him
you
in.
were going with that. I'm sorry.
Throw him into the fire.
I tried
Throw
to
him
into
finish
the
what you
fire.
were thinking. I was like,
Yeah,
what?
man, we're all
What
jumping
is-
together.
What does
Throw
that
'em
have to
into the
do with
deep end.
introvert extrovert?
No, because me and I'm okay.
No, your
I'm an
metaphor
introvert.
was
Dig
into
yourself
the deep
out of
end,
what
into
I
the
have sent you.
fire, something.
Listen,
Okay.
this beer is empty.
there you go. Yeah, my
I'm an
rum and coke was
introvert.
gone a minute ago.
So I'll be honest. I kind of like to stay home. I kind of like to just be done with what I'm doing and like go back home and sleep.
Yeah, no, I think that you're totally right. Like, it was really nice that I had y'all there. Like,
Mhm.
I did go and like get to talk with a bunch of the Little Root guys that I had met online, but for the most part, it was just like, that's my group. I'm gonna go hang out with y'all. But honestly,
Yeah.
also New Jersey, every single match I played was a like 3-game slog against Trick Room. So I had 5 minutes to like crawl up to you guys, say I won, and then it's time for the next one.
Because they were
Yeah.
waiting on you. Yeah.
Yeah,
we were always watching your games.
Yeah. No, that's exactly it. Is like NAIC was just huge for meeting people and talking with people. And yes, there was all this stuff like in between battles, but also everything that came after it
Yeah.
was just so wild. Like everyone was always down to go and go and hang out somewhere or go and be somewhere. So I mean,
Yeah,
that was
I'm
really cool.
super excited for events. And
Yeah.
You
going
have
to
never
we
been
are
to
definitely
one,
gonna
right?
have to all
I've-
gonna have to all meet up for sure.
We
so
will.
I'm angry.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm
we,
sorry.
I'm
we've
Kevin.
talked about this. Hi, Kevin. I'm angry. Hi, Kevin. I'm Dad. No, my first of okay, real quick. My thing when Sword and Shield was announced, I'm like, I'll get into competitive Pokemon with this. I'll go play this game competitively, go to events, see people, get involved in the community. That was my like big goal before the games came out, and that's actually what like led me to Pokésports too. It was like, oh cool, community, let's do things. So then shortly after, the world kind of shut down, and I was like, oh boo-hoo, things are canceled. Okay, sure. And then 2022 comes around, and then like things are happening again. There's gonna be a regionals in Orlando. That is in my backyard. I'm super excited. And then our governor sucks. So then they
That'll
canceled.
do it to you.
So I'm like, ah. So I'm so mad. But yes, I haven't been to an actual event. I haven't been to any real world Pokemon stuff.
Hey, listen,
I know.
Scarlet Violet's your game, man.
I'm
Yeah,
looking
it's
forward
gonna
to
be
it.
great.
I think Rowan has said this before on this podcast, but I'm gonna echo him. I think with Scarlet Violet, I'm gonna try to go to as many regionals as I can.
Yep, same.
Like, I'm gonna have a new job. I'm gonna have real big boy money now.
It's liberating, isn't it?
Yeah, it's gonna be amazing. I'm gonna actually be able to plan things out and go to. Hey, maybe I feel like going to Canada. Maybe I feel like going to Latin America. Probably not. I'm probably go to all the NA ones, to be honest. But
That's fair.
and let's see if I can actually get CP this time, not just
Do it.
2 from my Players Cup.
Do I have
Whatever it
2?
was. I think I only have 2 or something.
They were like it was
Choice.
really bad points for Players Cup. I think like the person
Yeah.
who won it all got
I-
50.
I knew it was bad,
it's-
but I didn't realize it was
wasn't.
too bad.
Yeah, no, it's that bad. Like
Okay.
I got more for my top 16 at a random regional than someone who beat the entire world because it's online
Gotcha.
and they don't really
Yeah.
value online.
Yep.
Right.
Not
Which
to
I think
get
is
to do
sad
that.
because it really like it helps a lot of people who don't have the big boy money, right? Like I don't think you should have to have a nice job to be able to play
Pokemon's a very
video game.
privileged esport. Huh?
It really is.
Yeah, it really is.
I mean,
You
most
know,
of them
a lot
are,
of
if we're
games.
being real
A
with
lot of
ourselves.
games
Most of them
yeah,
are.
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
you have to travel for, like card games too, like Magic or something. All those you have to travel.
I've
and,
never
you
seen
know,
so
do-
many TCG players in my life than in
Oh my
NAIC.
God.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. There was so much money in one room. They're all just walking around with binders.
So
of
much
money.
expensive cardboard.
League of Legends is the same. Dota's the same. StarCraft is the same. Like if you're,
Except they have actual prize money.
Yeah.
They have actual prize
that's
money,
the
but-
difference.
but then
If you
also,
win, you might earn back more than your plane ticket.
That's true. But in some cases, if you win in Pokemon, they'll send you out to the next place.
Yeah.
So
The
I mean,
classic
there's
snowball effect.
Yeah.
Is it just a coincidence that every time there's a Pokemon event, everyone gets their flights canceled, or is that just us? Because everyone here has had their flights canceled twice thanks to
Mhm.
Pokemon events.
We're not going to talk about how much money it cost me to get home on time from New Jersey.
Ooh.
It's less that this is the competitive airline podcast that we're talking right now.
Can we just spend
It's-
the remaining time of this podcast with me trash talking every airline that screwed me that day? Because
I concede my time. I want to listen to that.
Yeah, we don't need dinner sponsors. Let's go.
What, you think you're gonna get sponsored
No,
by,
no,
by
no,
United?
no. We're sponsored by Pokemon Airlines. All right, let's
That's it.
go.
Where United will beat you worse than inflation. I don't know.
Yeah, there it is.
All right. What you got, Rowan?
Are you serious? No, I no. United and American both canceled like multiple flights for me. I ended up paying $1,000 to go home on Delta because the only remaining ticket was one seat in first class.
Thank you for flying Delta. You didn't have a choice.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, at least they didn't cancel. They're now my favorite airline despite screwing me. So like, yeah.
I think
got you there.
I think the lesson we all learned is to stop going for the cheapest flights and just go for the average ones. Because maybe they
Yeah.
won't cancel those.
Yeah, maybe also get the like insurance or whatever. I don't know. This is some like
Oh, yeah, you
more
always get
like,
Insurance
flight
is a
insurance.
scam no matter where it is.
Yeah.
It probably is. Yeah, I don't know. But
Oh, there's a thunderstorm, and then it's just like the sunniest, hottest New Jersey day outside. Like, where is this thunderstorm? Oh, it's a thunderstorm when you go north to Canada and down to Georgia, but there's nothing in between. I don't know.
it's a thunderstorm that happened right as we had a labor shortage. And,
It's weird,
Right.
wild.
Ah,
I have a
fun
bunch of
adulting
Wobble Fett
problems.
on my desk.
oh yeah.
I don't know where to put.
Perfect. That's it.
Wow.
Actually, be
Well,
careful.
we're
They're
gonna
gonna,
hold all these
they're gonna
Wobble Fetts.
counter you.
Oh no!
They're gonna be flying back. Yeah.
Imagine getting countered by 5
Oh,
or
shit.
6 Wobble Fetts in one Why Not?
Well done.
What happened?
Just knock
What did you
him
do?
Knock his
He got
head down.
countered.
Countered him. Yeah.
I got countered.
Wait, hold on, Mike. We need those. We need the
Yeah,
headset.
I know, right?
Ah. Okay. I think it's about time
Is that a podcast? Did
we
do it?
wrap. I think it's a podcast.
we
yeah.
did
I think we did a podcast. That's pretty cool.
Somehow, against all odds, we did a podcast.
Yeah.
So yes, some in-person event, regionals or something, locals. I don't know. NAIC next year. We'll all meet up, and then like the high five or something cool. It'll
great.
be a great time.
5-person high five.
Yeah,
Yeah.
high
You
25.
guys get to
Oh,
see
that'd
how
be great.
short I am. It's gonna be amazing.
I've seen that Instagram picture of you two
Oh, yeah.
standing next to each other.
Dude,
Yeah,
Mike
it's
is a
pretty good.
giant.
I'm up to
Yeah.
Mike's kneecaps.
Yeah,
Mike
yeah.
was hitting the ceiling in our Airbnb in Secaucus. Just
Oh
saying.
god, yeah. I was hitting the ceiling. Mike had to duck to like get to the bathroom. I was
So are you also canonically 8 feet tall?
So, all that aside, thank you two so much for joining us, for spending, a little over an hour of your time just catching up with old friends.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
You want to give a quick plug before we head out?
Yeah, totally. Go on over and listen to Pokésports, a competitive Pokemon podcast. That's where we do our thing.
It's like typing poke and sports together.
Yeah, it's not a hard word, not a difficult word.
But just in
I will
case-
say, the biggest long-term point of contention between myself and Kevin has been the accent on the E,
Mhm.
and I'm still not fully convinced on what I should do with that.
So
Whether or not you
Pokésports-
have it?
Pokésports, or do you go like really insane? I always found the show like kind of cringy. They just go hard on the accent, like Pokésports, like
Oh, they definitely do. I mean, including it in general, just like
Oh.
having it there.
oh no, just like literally writing it. Okay.
Because if you go to any kind of link, it's always POKESPORTS,
Right.
Pokésports.
Yeah.
But on logos and on anything that has our name on it that isn't text based, that's POKE Accente Sports.
I think that's a smart
So-
way to do it because like there actually is an ASCII character for
There
E
is.
with an accent on
Yep.
it, and that's gonna mess you up hard.
Yeah,
for
anyone
SEO,
tries to
any
look
kind of
for you, you
indexing,
won't find
yeah.
it. Yep.
SEO does not really like us. It's relatively difficult for people to find us.
It's a love-hate relationship.
Yeah.
Mostly hate.
Interesting. So,
Anyway.
But it looks nice.
just in case, I agree.
does
I
look
was
good.
gonna say I think the accent looks nice. I think you should keep it. It's very thematic, despite SEO. Don't put it there.
Right.
But just in case people have trouble spelling Pokésports, I will have it in a link below or in the Spotify thing.
I've also done it like 3 times in the past 5 minutes, so hopefully somebody's picked it up.
Who knows?
But yes, good that it's
Yeah.
there.
It starts with a P.
Ends with the sports.
Yeah.
There's an okay in there somewhere.
It's just okay. Wait, oh no.
Yeah,
Ooh.
fair enough.
All right. Well, y'all, thank you so much. Anything else? Any closing remarks besides your plug?
Now, what do you guys have to plug?
Just our normal stuff, I guess.
Yeah, let's go through our normal stuff and then we'll stop hitting record.
You
Or
gotta plug your
whatever.
switches into the dock so we can play Unite. Is what you gotta plug.
Oh,
Oh
you gotta
my
get a
gosh.
5 stack going.
Kevin's an ambassador
all
for
right.
sure.
All right. Well, we have been the Game Corner. Where can people find you, Sheldon?
You can find me on Twitter at Captain_Unova or Twitch at Captain Unova.
And you, Rowan.
You can find me on Twitter, Rowan W Hall, YouTube, C/Rowan Hall.
And you can
Just
find
put up
me.
my World Cup match.
Yeah, go find that video.
Congrats, by the way. Getting
yeah,
that
winning
dub.
the-
Thank you.
Yeah.
Team India is doing good too. You guys are
Yeah,
7-1, right?
We're doing good. Yeah, we just one more match until we make the actual. I guess it's like the qualifiers. So we get
Would
through,
you guys
but yeah.
play against a European? country, right?
Norway. Yeah.
Norway. Okay.
So continue to get those dubs. And then I've been Harrison. You can find me at Twitch and Twitter under Ixen. We have been the Game Corner. They have been Pokésports. Find them at Pokésports everywhere. Links
And-
below.
And we have someone to credit for our music.
I have my thing. Give me some credit here. Goodness, I have a script.
You forgot once, and I'm never gonna let you forget it.
Yeah, that was 2 episodes ago. I have grown
That's
since
ancient. That's
then.
ancient history. You've grown as a
Yes.
person. You're not wrong.
Here's the
I
trick:
haven't- I
just
didn't
sing
even
your
get
own
through-
outro music so that you
I
never
didn't
forget.
even get through our the podcast socials. You can find us at Twitter at the Game Corner VGC. You can find us in Discord in the link below. Thank you to Game Chops and RobKTA for the use of our theme song, Goldenrod Game Corner off the Ultraball album. Go give it a listen. Are you happy now?
Oh, I've got him in a rage spiral. This is great. Keep
I'm
going.
Yeah, it's great.
satisfied.
All right. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. And until next time, game on.